Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and finally the international break has come to an end. Celtic return to action this weekend as Hearts visit Celtic Park, but before we preview that game, we've got a few things to talk about, including a new contract for one of Celtic's best players. So quite an exciting one today. Strap yourselves in, let's talk about that. If you haven't already, please make sure to go down below and hit like and subscribe. It's absolutely free as we try and get ourselves towards 50,000 subscribers this year. Thank you to everyone as part of the 118 and Thunder Club last night who joined in the second members exclusive live stream. If you want to join the club, if you want to be part of those live streams, then you can join the club below by using the top line of the description or that join button beside the channel name. But anyway, enough promotion. Let's talk about Celtic. So we got big news last night from Scott Burns of the Daily Record that Celtic are ready to offer ALISTAIR Johnston a new contract, a contract extension with Celtic Football Club as they look to tie down one of their best players for a new deal. This was the headline that came out last night. Celtic to offer ALISTAIR Johnston a bumper new contract and bring him in line with the club's highest earners. Brendan Rodgers is keen to bring him in line with some of the other first team stars. The article went on to say that Celtic are set to open talks with ALISTAIR Johnston over a new deal to bring him in line with the club's top earners. The Hoops hierarchy have got the transfer window out of the way and want to continue the trend of tying up their top stars on long-term contracts. The Canadian international still has 3 years left on his existing deal, but they want to extend that and hand him improved terms. Fantastic news for all Celtic fans. Fantastic news for ALISTAIR Johnston, who's set to get a big wage increase to take him in line with the likes of Callum McGregor and probably Arnie Engels, for example. And a well-deserved contract at that. As it stands, as we just mentioned, his contract is due to expire in December of 2027 as he signed in the January transfer window, which means there's just over 3 years left in the current deal. So you can only assume that this new contract that we're talking about and the potential sign-on would be to December 2029. If not, maybe the summer of 2029 or the summer of 2030. Nonetheless, I think that we're going to take it from the current 3 years that he's on just now to a 5-year deal. That would be ideal for the club. And yeah, I love ALISTAIR Johnston, so I'm really happy to hear this news. I don't think there's any denying how important ALISTAIR Johnston is to the Celtic side, and I think over the next couple of years it's probably, and I hate saying it, I don't want to talk about this just as we've lost someone like Matt O'Reilly, but over the next couple of years it's probably going to happen that clubs down south or bigger clubs in the continent will come circling around his name. He's been a real standout for Celtic over the past 6 months especially. He started last season quite poor, but he really kicked on from the new year. And I think from there to where we are right now, and even on his international duties as well, he's shown how good of a player he actually is. And only at 25 years of age, he's yet to enter his prime years. So ALISTAIR Johnston's only going to get better. And from the day he signed under Ange Postecoglou back in that January transfer window, I think that he showed how good he is. I think that he showed that he is the right back for years to come at Celtic should he choose to stay here. And his personality is infectious. I've said this a million times before. He's probably the nicest footballer I've ever met. I had the pleasure of interviewing him or being part of the press conference, I should say, a couple of years ago, and he was so nice. He was a gentleman, and I love him, and I rave about him all the time. He's one of my favourite players in the Celtic team. So sign him up, get that contract extended, keep him here as long as possible. Thank you very much. Capped 49 times for the Canadian national team. Semi-finalists in the Copa America this summer. Played very, very well. Was a standout at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. We have a top player on our hands here. Tying him down to a bigger contract is more than deserved, and yeah, it's smart business. So we've seen what it done for Matt O'Reilly and trying to get more money for him. We gave him that new contract. We've done it for Hatate. We've done it for Kyogo. It's just smart business. So keep an eye out in the coming days or weeks to see what happens with this, and hopefully we get an announcement soon from Celtic that Johnston has put pen to paper and has another couple of years on top of that deal he's already on. Talking about ALISTAIR Johnston very quickly, we have an injury update ahead of the weekend. Of course, he sustained a hamstring problem on his most recent international trip with the Canadian national team. It's seen him go off 25 minutes into their first game. Jesse Marsch gave us an update ahead of their second game, saying that it was a precautionary type issue. He gave Celtic fans a lot of hope by saying it was nothing serious. But he's come back to Lennoxtown, and this is what was said in the same article last night, that he will be assessed by the Celtic medical team before Celtic return to action against Hearts this weekend. Of course, Jesse Marsch doesn't think it's anything too major, but yeah, the key line, it will be assessed by the medical team ahead of the game. Listen, I think there's no need to rush Johnston back into the team for Saturday. If he's capable of playing, maybe give him a half, maybe give him limited minutes. But we've just, brought in somebody from Barcelona who's capable of playing at right back. I would give Alex Bally the start over there, to be quite honest. Save Johnston for Wednesday, and maybe even just play him the last 15-20 minutes if he's capable of it this weekend. Just don't risk him pulling a hammy or anything like that. It's not for me. If he's fine and he's good to go, fair enough. Push him out there, get him on the park, and maybe just sub him off early. But yeah, we'll see what the return for that is. Brendan Rodgers will probably comment on the matter tomorrow, so keep an eye out on his press conference, and we should hear if he's ready to play or not. Talking about contracts, it got me thinking, who else is due to sign a contract soon at Celtic Football Club? Well, one player we definitely know is due a new contract is Greg Taylor, whose current deal expires at the end of the season. He still hasn't put pen to paper on a new deal. We have heard murmurs that it could be happening, but obviously I think it comes down to Taylor, this one. I don't think it's so much up to the club. I think my personal opinion is the club will 100% offer him a new deal. It's all just down to him now if he wants to sign on and stay at the club. He's one of the players whose contract expires at the end of the season. James Forrest, his deal is up at the end of the year as well. I think that we'll probably offer him an extension. I can see him just finishing his career with Celtic, to be quite honest. So I think that might come out in the next few months as well. And then aside from those two, the main two, we also know that Kasper Schmeichel, he has a contract, an option in the contract apparently to sign on for an extra year. That was reported when he signed for the club, but it wasn't mentioned in the official club statement, so we'll just need to wait and see what happens. He might decide to hang up the gloves, he might decide that another year is more than doable. We'll wait and see, but those are the three key players whose contracts do expire at the end of the season. So that is the main news for today, but we do have a little bonus story to touch on, because I've been wondering when we'll see the beginning of the survey results. Remember in the summer, Celtic put out that club survey to all the supporters. They asked you to fill in this 1 million page booklet detailing your thoughts and everything at the club at the minute, the current running of the club, and nothing really has started to take effect, to be quite honest. I've not noticed anything different by all accounts that I mentioned anyway in my survey, and I think that a lot of Celtic fans mentioned in their surveys. But we have had an update over the past couple of days on Celtic TV. Yes, Celtic TV is undergoing changes. A club statement was put out last night saying that since 2001, Celtic TV has been a staple for thousands of fans worldwide, offering a mix of live football, exclusive shows, extensive archive content, and unparalleled behind-the-scenes access. Now, we're excited to unveil a brand new look. So, Celtic TV undergoing changes. Here is what is new to Celtic TV for those who might not be familiar with the service. Everything is in one place. Live football, exciting regular content, on-demand streaming, pay-per-view events, podcast content, archives and more. A streamlined subscription process featuring a new payment platform, an easier to navigate layout, and access to a full range of content across the platform. So that was Celtic's fancy way of saying we've made slight changes, but there is a couple of big things that you might be interested to know. No more DVDs. That's it. I'm sorry if you relied on the season reviews as Christmas presents or Brendan Rodgers documentaries as birthday gifts. Those days for you are now over. Celtic are stopping the manufacturing of DVDs. It's 2024 after all. They are gone. Everything is going to be on Celtic TV from now on in a number of different ways, whether it's through buying it as a rental purchase, whether it's buying it as a permanent purchase, or whether it's just been put on Celtic TV as access for everybody who pays for the service. Put it this way, You can't go to the club shop anymore and get any new DVDs. The production is stopping altogether. So that is the big thing. Everything will now appear online under this new streamlined service. So they're catching up with the modern world, you could say. I remember, just, you know, I'm a wrestling fan. WWE done the same recently. At the end of last year, the end of 2023, they stopped their home video department. So they stopped production of DVDs. We're moving towards a totally online and digital world, and Celtic are now joining in on that, which I imagine for some of you is some sad news, but do you know what, it might actually be beneficial. It'll probably persuade a lot more people to go over to Celtic TV and get that. So we'll see how that goes. It's the first step of, I think, modernisation at the club altogether. I think we're only maybe a couple of years away from becoming a ticketless club as well, where all of our tickets will be done through mobile phones. Which, once again, if you're an older supporter in particular, that might sound like doomsday to yourself, but it's just the way that a lot of clubs are going nowadays. Manchester United have started doing it where everything's through the app and you scan a QR code to get into the game. I think the club might be doing that very, very soon, to be quite honest. So yeah, the broadcast network under Celtic TV is changing. So if you're already paying for it, keep an eye out, let us know how it goes, and if you're not, then instead of DVDs for Christmas, just get your Celtic TV membership. There you go. Right then, that does it for today. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. I am so excited for action to be back this weekend as Celtic play football. Real, serious, actual football. Celtic the Thunder will be out tomorrow, ladies and gents, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, take care, take it easy, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you all next time. Shout out to everybody who has joined the 118 Club or the Thunder Club thus far. Thank you for your continued support here on Ryan 118, and enjoy your moment of glory here on screen.